All day, I've heard that Donald Trump really has gone mad. Crazy, dangerous. He wants to take over Gaza. He wants America to actually own Gaza. Yeah, well, today the new US president met Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for talks and emerged an hour later with his boldest and most dangerous idea yet. Trump announced the plan that only a real estate developer, or maybe a colonialist, could have thought of to supposedly end a lifetime of war between Israel and the Palestinians of Gaza. Now in ruins, the Hamas terrorists who've run Gaza for years started yet another of their Jew-hating wars to kill Israelis.
We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site. You can't live in Gaza right now, and I think we need another location. I think it should be a location that's going to make people happy.
Now, Trump made it sound so simple. Moving out 2 million Palestinians from Gaza and moving in the developers. It's even simpler to say, of course, that Trump has gone nuts, as so many people immediately did. And yet there were a couple of things he said in this bit in particular. I don't know, you have a listen.
You have to learn from history. History has, just can't let it keep repeating itself. We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute, I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad, this could be so magnificent. But more importantly than that is the people that have been absolutely destroyed that live there now can live in peace in a much better situation because they're living in hell.
Now, it's true, this plan is not just wild, unprecedented, but also dangerous, so dangerous, and almost certainly unlawful under international law. I mean, the US just taking over Gaza. No wonder our Prime Minister was stunned today, unable to say whether he backed Trump's plan or not wanting to offend Trump, not wanting to get behind history either, and not wanting to back an idea that Trump might scrap tomorrow. Whatever.
I've said before that I don't intend to have a running commentary on the President of the United States' statements.
This is a major foreign policy move, though.
Hang on, it's not a dialogue. It's, well, if you let me answer, what I would say is that Australia's position is the same as it was this morning, as it was last year, and it was 10 years ago, and it was under the Howard government. The Australian government support, and a bipartisan basis, a two-state solution in the Middle East.
Now, here are just some of the obvious problems that have got Trump critics out of their minds. Do many Palestinians even want to leave Gaza? If not, how would Trump make them? Where would they even go? Arab countries like Jordan say they don't want to take Palestinians. The US sure won't. Trump was saying, oh, well, look, maybe Egypt and Jordan, the leaders will look into their hearts. But really, who'd want the trouble of the Palestinians, the Hamas sympathizers among them? Then there's this. Only a fool could ignore that Trump's plan actually means creating American territory out of a patch of land crawling already with terrorists. I mean, even now, you check the release of the hostages over the last few weeks, Hamas terrorists still everywhere, crawling out of the ground even after 16 months of war with Israel. Now, turning Gaza into an American territory, that's just going to turn America into a frontline state in one of the world's most violent areas. Every Islamist terrorist in the Middle East would now have an American target very handily in their backyard. So, well, the Israeli Prime Minister sounded vaguely positive, but he did have Trump standing next to him.
You cut to the chase. You see things others refuse to see. You say things others refuse to say. And after the jaws drop, people scratch their heads and they say, he's right. And this is the kind of thinking that enabled us to bring the Abraham Accords. This is the kind of thinking that will reshape the Middle East and bring peace.
But of course, Netanyahu would also talk this up for another reason. I mean, Trump's just solved his problems. I mean, here's Trump saying America will now take over security in Gaza and take over its rebuilding. In fact, Trump has already threatened to send in US troops to clean up Hamas.
We'd like to get all of the hostages, and if we don't, it will just make us somewhat more violent.
So those are just some of the problems. You hear them on endless repeat, and they're legitimate. And we could also talk about the bad example that Trump is setting for Russia's Putin and China's Xi Jinping. You know, go ahead, take over someone's country. And that, of course, is why Trump is being abused. And we should, let me underline it again, we should not rule out this being another Trump bluff, you know, scaring the Arab world into solving this mess in Gaza themselves. America will come if you don't get your own house in order. Who knows? But something Trump said today is so true. Can Gaza really go on like this endless cycle? Hamas massacres Jews, Israel hits back, we pay for the rebuild of Gaza, Hamas massacres Jews again, Israel hits back again, we pay for the rebuild again. That kind of bloody circus has gone on for generations. So if you say Trump's plan is crazy, that's very easy to say. And you know, in fact, Gaza should actually be the Riviera that Trump describes. It's in a beautiful part of the Mediterranean. I went past it last year. Do Palestinians really now want to live in the rubble of a dead-end territory instead, locked forever in a cycle of hatred and bloodshed? So, you mock Trump's plan, I repeat, that's easy. But you tell us the better plan that lets Israel live and that stops this forever war. That is about impossible.